If you're the person that does everything in your business, you're going to get stuck there, and that basically for anything to happen, it's got to come through you. And that means if you stop, if you want to take a break, if you're burnt out, or if you want to go on a holiday, or you want to, spend time with someone who is ill or whatever, then if you stop, for most businesses out there, probably 98% of businesses, the money stops because you are the business. So what you've got to do is go, how do I remove myself from 60, 70, 80, 90% of all the core functions and processes within my business, so I then do only what I do best and basically have my team running the rest.
Hello and welcome to Uncovered, the podcast with your host, Jason Irving. Join me in a journey to understand what's truly happening in your world and the world around you. This is not about how you're living life on the surface. It's about what's truly driving you from under the covers. I'm going to take you on a journey to deeply uncover the reason why you are here, the ultimate purpose in your problems, and the way that they have shaped your life up until now. See, I believe you have a purpose, and your problems are the highway towards ultimate realization of that journey towards freedom and the reconnection of your true self. I've been told I have a different spin on most things, and I'll be giving you my understanding of life, love, and what we're all here for, purpose. To get the best out of this podcast, drop what you already know so you can discover what's beyond you. So join me, let's play this game of life and bring on liberation, transformation, and change. Let's do this. Hey guys, welcome to Uncovered. I'm really excited. I've got an amazing human being who's created an amazing business and amazing philosophy. And I'm really excited to share with you guys this person who has changed the face of many people's lives in the way that they actually do business. And Dale Beaumont, welcome to Uncovered. Thanks for jumping on with us today.
Pleasure. Happy to chat.
So Dale, I'd love a little bit of a background in who you are, where you've come from, and what you do, what makes you tick. And we're going to be focusing on building a lifestyle business out of this. So we want your magic today. I don't want to speak much.
All right. Well, I'll try to do it like maybe a 60-second, 90-second introduction. So I had a lot of energy as a kid. So I was my first kind of life was as a gymnast. So I represented Australia in the sport of gymnastics and competed around the world. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of lessons from my sporting career: hard work, discipline, how to motivate myself. But the most important lesson that I learned from my sporting career was the value of having a coach. And that then led me to my kind of second phase in life, where I started to go out there and learn from some of the world's greatest teachers and educators in the area of success and wealth creation and business. People like, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Brandon Bays, any kind of guru that kind of would come to town and run a workshop, I would be there. I became then a student of all of these great teachers, and then started my own business at the age of 19. Struggled like many at the beginning, had no idea what I was doing, but I got educated and was able to turn that business into a success. It's still running to this day, 21 years later. It's expanded into 7 different countries. It's a company that runs personal development programs for young people. Then along the way, I got excited about publishing books, and another phase of my life was publishing 15 books in the space of 3 years that went on to sell 250,000 copies. And then after that, had a few other different things that I did. I bought and sold a real estate company. And then after that, I started another company, which is called Business Blueprint, which is the company I'm most known for today, which is a business education and training company designed to help other entrepreneurs to build the business of their dreams. So I've been doing that for around 15 years now. I've personally coached more than 2,500 businesses all over the world. And that's now one of a number of companies that I have. Collectively, our group turns over around $10 million a year. And we've also built up a substantial property portfolio. And also, I'm married, got 2 kids. They're 14 and 12 now. And we love to travel. So each year we travel 4 to 5 months a year with them. And last count, we've been to 85 countries together as a family. So I love business, I love education, I love family, I love lifestyle, and basically helping people, which is why I'm here. All right, that's enough of that. That's a quick, the Dale story in a nutshell.
I love this. And listeners, this is really, really important because a lot of people, and I know I'm in this place at the moment, I'm quite often the magician of my show, right? And we get into that place where you've created this amazing architecture of life where you've got time with your family, you run a business, you're busy, but you're also busy having fun. So how have you managed to really get that right? Because a lot of people can't. What have you done that's or who have you listened to, and what breakthroughs did you have to make to actually get to where you are today?
Yeah, good question. Look, there is, a part of this is, it's never perfect to kind of begin with. It's taken a while to kind of get to this particular point. It took us around sort of 10 years to start living this lifestyle, and for the next 10 years we've been doing fairly well. But a few distinctions are, especially for people that are running their own business of some kind, is that what you've got to realize is that you can't be the person that does everything in your business. If you're the person that does everything in your business, you're going to get stuck there, and that basically for anything to happen, it's got to come through you. And that means if you stop, if you want to take a break, if you're burnt out, or if you want to go on a holiday, or you want to spend time with someone who is ill or whatever, then if you stop, for most businesses out there, probably 98% of businesses, the money stops because you are the business. So what you've got to do is go, how do I remove myself from 60, 70, 80, 90% of all the core functions and processes within my business, so I then do only what I do best and basically have my team running the rest. And so part of that is having the right mindset, being able to let go, being able to stop kind of the old beliefs of no one can do it as good as what I can. It's faster if I do it myself. They're all old school ideas that you've got to get out of your head. Also, hard work equals success, because it doesn't. Sometimes the harder you work, the actual less productive you are. So we've got to smash some of those beliefs, adopt some new beliefs, and start getting stuff out of your head and systemizing it. We've got a whole process and a program that teaches that. But then once you've got all of your systems out of your head, then we show you how to build your team, because nothing truly significant in life is ever achieved by just one person. It's always through a team of other people around them that work together to support that vision of the owner, the leader, the entrepreneur. And so we'll show you how to find and build an awesome team around you, how to become the leader that's deserving of these people so that you attract them and they want to stay. And then the other part of it is actually letting go and handing it over, and allowing other people to run certain parts of your business. And the easiest way to do that is by removing yourself. Go on somewhere for a week or for a month, and let the business kind of run on its own without you having to be there. So it is possible. It takes a bit of work. There's lots of different steps to get right, but it is possible for you to build a multi-million-dollar business that can run with or without you. You just need to set it up the right way.
So Dale, I've got a question around that. So when you're obviously a magician at what you do, and you've created an environment where you've empowered people to take on the task, and they're really good at it now. Your first experience where you tried to do that, did that turn into a flop, or did it work? Like, did it work straight away, or did it actually not work? What happened?
Yeah, like I think with anything, it's sometimes two steps forward, one step back, two steps forwards, one step back. But the main thing is you keep moving forward. It never just works instantly. It maybe go from doing 100% of everything to then just going, okay, well, these 3 tasks I don't do anymore. That's done by someone else. And then next time I'm going to give away another 3 or 4 tasks. And so over time, you go from doing 100% to then I'm now doing 90%, 80%, 70%. You reduce that as you kind of go. So it's a gradual transition that normally takes about 1 to 2 years, from you becoming the be all and end all, doing everything in your business, to you just doing only what you love, only what brings you joy, only what you do best, and then have your business kind of run by everyone else. I wish to say we could flick a switch and it would just happen overnight, but it doesn't. There's some things that you need to do business-wise, and there's also some beliefs that you need to smash and remove and let go of. And sometimes people let go of those beliefs faster than others, let's just say. And so, it comes down to how ready are you to move on to a better way of doing things. And sometimes people make that shift fast. Other times people, hold on to their past beliefs because they're really kind of, deep seated and take a while to remove.
Yeah, it's a big one. Like my mum has been in business for about 40 to 50 years now, and she's still the pinnacle of her business and 7-figure income earner. Business relies on her. And I look at her and then I look at someone like you and I go, yeah, I don't want to be like my mum. I want to actually focus on that. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. Right now, I would be normally doing something with our academy that someone else is doing right behind me next door. So it's really nice to know that when we organised our podcast, we had to change a couple of times. And you said this time today, and I was just like, of course, perfect, because someone is actually doing a job that I would normally be doing right now. So when I look at this, that process, it is a real challenge, and I'm being challenged at the moment because I'm filtering out. It is that one step forward, one step back. So it's giving me a lot of relief to know that it is a process. And it does take time, because quite often we see books like the 4-Hour Work Week and all of these things, and they feel like a great ideal, and people want to start them when they start business. And is that possible to do?
Look, you yes and no. Like, in terms of when you start a business, there is a lot of things to do, and certainly the sooner you start outsourcing, you don't have to do everything anymore. Like, for example, you wouldn't design your logo, you'd outsource that to someone. Maybe even building a website, you outsource that. So you can outsource, a lot of things, but to be not present and not there, in that first year, it may mean that you just don't get that traction or don't get that adoption that you kind of like need. So, it's a little bit like raising children. At the years, you're going to be needed quite a lot, but then after that, you've got to learn to start sort of like letting go and have them, start to do more and more. They can get dressed themselves, they can do this, they can do that, and make that sort of like, transition. So it may not need to take us, as long as raising a child. That normally takes like 15, 20 years. But the point there is the first 1 or 2 years, yes, you probably need to put in, a decent amount of commitment, but be smart at the same time. But then after those first couple of years, if you're still working 70, 80 hours a week, then you're doing something kind of like wrong. And you've probably got too many of the old kind of like ways of doing things, the success, hard work equals success type of philosophy. And so, you then need to go, okay, do I want to hold on to these beliefs for the rest of my life? Do I want to keep working as hard for the rest of my life? Or do I want to start, working smarter, not harder, start letting go, start building systems and outsourcing and growing my team and moving to automation and all the stuff that we teach. If you just look at your sort of lifestyle and say, well, I've only got one life, how do I want to be spending it? Do I want to spend it the whole time working? And, or do I want to create amazing experiences along the way with people that I love? So therefore I've got to find this kind of balance between, work and lifestyle. That's, what I basically love helping people to do.
Yeah, I love that, mate. So if we're looking at this for you as a person, as an entrepreneur and a guy that loves helping people change, is that the idea of creating an amazing culture in your business, is that what's really important to be able to offload the tools to your colleagues?
Yeah, most definitely. A big part of that is the culture that you create in your organization. So, there's a few things that go into broadly called like leadership, which is around having a clear vision of what you want to create, because without a clear vision, why would anyone want to follow you? And then from there, some type of clear and articulated mission statement about what you're here on this earth to do. So it gives people one sort of like core concept that they can all rally behind. So everyone that's working here at this company is all working for, this kind of like greater cause or mission or purpose. Then from there, yes, you want to definitely create your company culture that you want, because everyone has a company culture. You either get a company culture by design, or you get one by default. And so and the true measure is what do other people sort of say about you behind your back, or how do people feel about in your working environment. So you want to design, what do I want it to be like, when people are kind of working here? What type of attitudes, behavior, what type of philosophies do I want to sort of instill, or guidelines underpin how we make decisions, how we hire people, how we promote people, how we treat our customers, how we do our marketing. Everything's based around these values. So I can unpack that a little bit more if you'd like. And then apart from that, then you want to make sure that you are then being, first of all, as a leader, you are living the values yourself, because it's very hard to tell someone else to do something if you're not doing it yourself. So you've got to be the ultimate example of what it is that you want to see happen. And then it's holding your staff to those standards or guidelines that you have set. So it's being able to coach and manage their behavior and performance to the values, and which are like the agreed principles or rules. Otherwise, people are just going to feel like crap if they're constantly being told they're doing things wrong. So the rule is 3 positives to kind of 1 negative. So look for things that they're doing well, praise them, congratulate them. Well done. I saw you do that. That was fantastic. And then if you need to have a conversation, and there's a process for having these conversations, you can then step in and say, hey, I noticed that, you arrived at 9:15 this morning. Why is it important that we're on time when it comes to being here, in the office, and have them articulate and say, okay, well, moving forward, do you think we can make sure that you're here at 9 o'clock moving forward? Great. And so it's getting them to coaching them, not saying, hey, you're late, what's wrong, and putting it back on them, but how do you have these empowering conversations with them to course correct their behavior in a way that still addresses the issue. We're not going to just forget about it or gloss over or pretend it didn't happen, but we want to do it in a way that's empowering. And as long as we're doing the 3 positives to 1 negative, then we're going to be able to coach that person to the performance standard that we need for them to thrive and for the company to grow.
I love
that. Was a bit of a long answer to that question around.
Answer. And look, I think this is really important to understand, is that like a lot of bosses can actually, first thing they do is they point out what you're doing wrong, and the self-esteem drops, and you're constantly having to prove. And so what I'm hearing, Dale, is you're actually giving people the permission to see where they're shining first, and then working on construction second. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, sure. Yep, definitely. Good assessment.
Yeah, and I think this is really important, leaders, is for people who are leaders who want to get into this world and really help lead. You have to, as Dale said, lead by example rather than talk through your mouth and not follow through with your actions. And I think that's really, really important. So when you've got, can you unfold a little bit more about, what you do as a cultural leader for your companies? A little bit of an understanding that in the back end, what does Dale do for his culture, and how does he lead by example? Can you give us an example of that?
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to the culture, what you want to do is sort of sit down and go through a process for yourself and also with your team, is to really go, what's important about work to me? What's important about this environment? What's the type of culture that we want to create in this particular organization? And normally you might get 10, 20 different ideas, which is good, but it's hard to say to someone, hey, focus on these 20 things, because, most people can only remember about 5 things at any point in time. So what we do is we take all these concepts around what do we want. We want to have integrity. We want to have a good work ethic. We want to be able to have fun. We want to be able to, have open communication. I could list 100 things, but you want to pick the maybe the 10 or 20 that are the company that you want to build, that the behaviors and the attitudes that you want to see in your organization. And then what we want to do is we want to try and group these kind of concepts together and say, well, these 3 are kind of similar. That's all about, showing up with positivity, or these ones are all about, integrity, honesty, whatever. And so you put them into these buckets. So you might have then 7 or 8 buckets, which are got, 3 or 4 different ideas in each one. And then you go, okay, we want to try and get them down to 5. So what's the 5 most important values within, that we've identified here? And so you could rank them kind of, from 1 to 5. And then you probably find that there might be 6 or 7 or 8. But then you can take those concepts and maybe kind of put them into those 5 other buckets that you've identified. And then you want to give each of those a name or a label. So we have 5 values within our company. One's called high performance, and another one is called show the love. One's called create efficiency. One's called be accountable, and one's called achieve together. They're the 5 values that we have. And so they're just the names that we've given these concepts. And then we have detailed descriptions around each one. So I haven't got it here in front of me right now, but upstairs next to almost every single desk that we have in our office are our 5 company values and the descriptions around each one. And they have very detailed, it's almost like an instruction manual for how we operate. It's almost like our operating phone has like your iOS operating system. This is like the operating system of your business. This is how we do things here at our company. So what's what you're going to do. I got my staff member here who's just, he's been helping me with this broadcast back there. He just sort of pulled out, this was on his desk. So he just, pulled it off and gave it to me here. But they're all of our values. So this is like the operating system for our business. This becomes like the business blueprint way of doing something. And this provides you with an amazing competitive advantage because other people can maybe offer the same product that you offer, but it's the way in which you do it. It's your way of delivering your product or service. That's where the magic is, and that's what people will fall in love with, and that's why people want to keep coming back to you again and again and again over your competitor, because it's never about kind of what you do. It's about how you make someone feel, when they're in your space. And so that's just a quick kind of crash course. I do a whole hour and a half training on this for my clients around how to create their company values like this. And it can be really powerful, especially if there are 2 owners in the business, because oftentimes they've got their own way of doing things. And it's a little bit about like the children then down here, the staff go, okay, if mum says no, go to dad. If dad says no, go to mum. And because there's always going to be a weak point within the business. So what we do is we normally, if you've got a business partner, we get you both to do this together. So you as a unit are on the same page. So there's one way of building this kind of business, and then you get all your staff involved in the creation of this as well. So then you create one aligned company where the owners are totally aligned in terms of their vision and also the culture of the organization as well.
Yep.
And then everyone else in the company is then on board with that. And if they're not, then they basically very quickly realize that they're not a right fit, and they end up leaving, or they'll eventually deselect themselves basically, and then you'll attract the people that ultimately you want. They'll help you to grow to that next level.
So how do you find the right people, Dale? Because I was on a call with a group of people today with this particular problem, people being the star of the show. And he said this very thing. He said, I can't get the right staff to do the right things. So is that down to the leader, or is that down to just not being able to pick the right person?
Look, it's a combination, but it's normally a case of you get the people, it's a very blunt way of saying this, and I mean this with absolute respect, but you get the people you deserve. And normally when you're pointing at someone, saying you should have done this, there's always I like to assume there's always 3 fingers pointing back at me. What can I do better? And now, if it's an exception to the rule where you hired 10 great people and one of them didn't work out, that's fine. But if you're constantly finding you're not finding great people or people that aren't doing what they're required to do, then it's not them, it's probably you. So let's look at the things that we've kind of covered to sort of check off what could be the cause of the problem. So first of all, the business owner needs to create some type of inspiring vision about why you'd want to work at this company, because otherwise, A-grade people want to work for, A-grade companies. They don't want to, an A-grade person is never going to work for a C-grade boss or a C-grade company. So you want to lift your standards and your vision and your culture and your mission and your values. So that way if I'm going to attract an A-grade person, I need to be an A-grade business. I need to be an A-grade leader. Then from there, and then it also goes into other things like, especially as well with this is the culture that you create within your organization. If this really helps you decide attracting the right type of people that match the culture. And I just did a job interview this morning. I got another job interview this afternoon for a new role that we're hiring right now. And I go through this and I say, look, these are the principles that really make this company work. And if you don't feel that you're this person, then let's just let's just end this kind of meeting right now. And then they start, you can see their eyes light up. They start stepping up. They go, no, I can do this and I can do this. Or if they can't, then we just simply say it's not a right fit, and I'll go talk to the next person. So otherwise, you're hiring someone that's not aligned with the values of the organization. That's really never going to work. But then from there, it's about, have they been trained? Do they know what they are doing? Because if they've never been told what your expectations are, and they're not, like, sometimes they go, I've got this staff member, they're not doing like what I need them to do. And I said, have you actually told them what the expectations are? They go, no, I just thought that they should that they would figure it out. It's like, no, you have to tell them. If you want something to happen, you've got to clearly articulate, this is what needs to be done. Have you clearly articulated? Then from there, you've got to actually say, have they actually been trained? So maybe you told them that, hey, I need this particular done, but have you actually trained them? Now, I don't believe that you should be training them directly, because that's time consuming. You should build a system, and that system trains the person. That's a whole other conversation. But have they got the proper training that they need to succeed? And then the other part of it is about motivation. So they know what the expectations are. They know how to do it because they have been trained. But the third thing, they're just not doing it. And then that's a coaching issue. That's then about basically finding out like what is important to them. See, the secret to influencing someone is find out what someone wants and then link what you want to what they want. Okay. So if you do this, you'll get what you want. And that's really about talking to the person and finding out, why are they at the company? What motivates them? What do they want to achieve? And then showing, okay, well, if you do A, B, C, and D, we're going to help you to get that faster. Then all of a sudden the activity and the action improves because you're linking their goals with your activity. Okay, so that's a whole other conversation around coaching and basically performance management. So it's in that realm of those things. If this person is having an issue, there are a whole bunch of ideas of what they can kind of focus on, and through a process of elimination, they can work out what they need to do to move forward.
Mate, this is so important, because look, a lot of the conversation that you're having here right now, Dale, with me, is something that business owners just don't even think about, right? Because they start something out and they really don't know how to actually build a business. I know when I started my own, I had no idea how to, create a functional business, because I didn't know any of these ideas and processes you're going to put in place. So I was on a call with you a couple of weeks ago, and you just blew my circuits, because you are so smart. You've got these amazing systems. And then now I've started to implement those with my EA, who comes in and she's putting all her systems in place. So she'll be replaceable, and putting all the, basically doing a brain dump of your magic that you do, and providing a way that someone can actually do what you do when you're not here. And it's phenomenal just having someone like you, Dale, to actually, what you provide is actually really, really simple, right? And once you get it, the hang of it, then you get to hang your coat on the wall and actually actually put your coat on, walk out the door, and feel comfortable that someone else can do your job.
Yep. Yeah, great. Fantastic.
So, I really appreciate what you've already done for me. Just hearing you talk for an hour and a half in a group called Aureus, you just really made a big difference in the way that I'm thinking already, in the way that I function. Now, I'd love to know from you, Dale, like, you have lots of holidays and all of those sorts of things. And you're very, when I look at you, because I'm very, very intuitive the way I am, your brain is so brilliant. Your ideas are popping out of your circuits. Like, I've never seen someone's brain have so many ideas all at once. How do you handle when you are, having your holidays and you've got this amazing mind that's thinking about so many things about what you can create? What do you do with them all?
Yeah, I think it sort of helps to switch off when you go to a whole new place. And I love travel, and I love food, and I love, doing tours and going to places, and so that kind of like just helps my mind to have something else to focus on. But I can't help but thinking about some other business stuff in the background. Normally I like to take a couple of books with me as well, and a few little chunky projects that I'm going to work on while I'm away, and that sort of just like helps me to throw myself into the environment that I'm in, the people, the culture, read some books, and also, when you've got two kids that are very demanding and got a lot of energy, kind of like there's never really. I'm still busy, but just busy doing other things. So I love it. I love the kind of being able to be productive, but just in another way.
Yeah, I love that. Now, Dale, I really want to thank you so much for your time today. And listeners, if you really liked what you heard today from Dale, we're going to give you all of Dale's details in the show notes. And I'd love it if you could like or share this podcast to get this out there, to get this message out there around how you can have it all rather than feel like you're stuck in one paradigm, which is actually being an employee in your business. It's not fun. And Dale's an amazing human. He's got an amazing wealth of inspiration and experience to help you change the way that you function. So thank you so much, Dale, for jumping on Uncovered today.
You're welcome. All the best, everyone. Hope to meet you one day.
Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate you, and we really appreciate your time, because time is so valuable. What we'd love you guys to do, if you like this podcast, if you could share it with your friends, and also our website address for the podcast is www.wellnessbreakthroughacademypodcast.com. Our website is www.wellnessbreakthroughacademy.com. We have a free Facebook group called Wellness Leadership Evolution, so search for that. I'd love it if you could add me as a friend on Facebook. I don't buy it, so add me as a friend. And if you want some help and you would really like some support from us in the Academy, jump in. We have a process. You can do a break-in call to connect in with us. We do small courses. We have lots of things that we share. So we'd love the opportunity to give you a chance to change your life and turn it into a free one. You are one transformation away from change. Come and catch up.